The House and Senate heard hundreds of bills this week as lawmakers raced to meet a legislative deadline for measures to be heard in the Chamber of Origin. Legislators reacted to the legality of same-sex marriage in Oklahoma by passing a bill to take the state out of the marriage business. Both chambers also approved efforts to rein in federal spending through a constitutional convention.
As the nation awaits an opinion from the U.S. Supreme Court on the legality of same-sex marriage, the Oklahoma House approved legislation that shifts the issuance of marriage licenses from the state primarily to members of the clergy. State Representative Todd Russ said House Bill 1125 is intended to protect county court clerks from having to issue licenses to same-sex couples.
I have heard from some court clerks, and after the ruling from the Supreme Court, it left some people in a situation where it made them very uncomfortable having to be kind of referee in the sandbox, you might say, and they don't want to be in that position, and this is a simple fix.
State Representative Emily Virgin called the bill a reaction to a federal court's decision to overturn Oklahoma's ban on same-sex marriage. Virgin questioned the need for the measure.
I really have never heard from a court clerk about, we don't want to do this. This process is wrong. So what's the problem we're trying to fix here?
The bill would replace marriage licenses with certificates issued by clergy or judges. House Minority Leader Scott Inman argued the bill could have unintended consequences, such as preventing the state from prohibiting bigamy or polygamy.
I've read your bill multiple times now. And there's not one word in the bill that says you can't marry 3 people, 5 people, 6 people. There's not one word in existing statutes or in your new language.
Russ countered that current state statutes already outlaw multiple marriages.
If someone's trying to marry 3 people, it's a crime. And this bill has language in there that says if you do that, you're in violation of laws that will punish you accordingly.
The bill passed by a vote of 67 to 24 and now heads to the Senate. Unintended consequences also form the basis of arguments against 2 measures to petition Congress for a federal constitutional convention. The bill considered by the House would limit the convention to proposing a federal balanced budget amendment. State Representative Gary Bands is the author of House Joint Resolution 1018.
The framers gave the states a tool to push back against out-of-control central government, a tool that would help maintain balance in the federal system. A tool was intended to be used.
State Representative Mike Ritz voiced concerns about what might happen if a constitutional convention were held.
This is the nuclear option. Who's going to come out of it and survive? I don't think we know because of the left-wing individuals like Lessing, Soros, Stevens, John Paul Stevens, and others that are involved in the big money in supporting this.
Similar arguments were made by State Senator Anthony Sykes regarding the Senate's version, which calls for a constitutional convention to propose amendments restraining federal spending and limiting the power of the federal government.
When the convention starts, it's open season. That could mean a repeal of the Second Amendment, could mean a repeal of the Fourth, Fifth, and Sixth Amendment. Certainly, there's a lot of good that could be done, potentially. But the street goes both ways.
Others in the debate brought up fears that a constitutional convention could damage financial markets. But Senator Mike Mazie argued the real danger to the economy is the mounting national debt and unfunded liabilities from Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
That will cause financial ruin for your children and your grandchildren unless we rise up and say enough is enough.
Both measures passed their respective chambers and now switch sides, where differences in language will have to be resolved before a resolution calling for a convention can be ratified. The resolutions would add Oklahoma to the list of almost 30 states petitioning Congress for a constitutional convention.